All right, I don't know what time it is on your clock, but I know what I'm getting ready for. It is time for the Professional CISO Podcast with David Malicoat.
Welcome, one and all, to the Professional CISO Podcast. I'm your host, David Malicoat. This show is an exploration of the topics necessary to transform the role of the CISO into one of a professional. Our guest is Matt Walker. He is currently the Managing Director of Security and Compliance at Goosehead Insurance.
Thanks for having me, David. It's great to be here.
Like we always do, a little background on Matt Walker, right?
I went to college for commercial art. I thought I was going to be a sign designer and got into a sign shop right out of college. And the sign shop owner came up to me one day after work and said, Matt, I hear there's this thing called the internet and I want all 8 computers in this shop to have it. I went very rapidly from a commercial art designer to a network engineer and computer guy. One of my favorite interview questions is, tell me the process that a computer goes through from the moment you turn it on until you hit a Google web page. That's going to tell me if the person is technical enough to understand all of the technicalities that go into the operating system. That's what drove me to continually learn about technology. Was I just wanted to understand how it all worked. Once I started to understand how it really worked at that fundamental level, that's when that shift in my mind happened from this is something that we can use to this is something that needs to be secured. If you don't do that, the risk that it presents to a business can really quickly blow up.
Do you feel like we must professionalize our role as CISOs, as security leaders?
Short answer, yes. The role needs to be professionalized. Longer answer, it depends on the business still. There's a lot of businesses that are still very immature in their cybersecurity journey, and bringing in a tenured professional CISO who's built programs from the ground up might be jumping the gun in those instances. But for a publicly traded company who's got that established maturity, there is a need there for a professionalized role.
We're talking about speaking to your stakeholders, your board, your executive level. You may be walking in trying to be this translator of technical risk into business risk in the middle of some sort of potential conflict. How do you read the room at the given time?
That's where building that relationship with your stakeholders is so critical. When you walk into that tense situation, it's important to have that level of trust and relationship with your counterparts, whether it's just going to lunch with them once a month. If you know everybody, if you trust everybody, it helps put everybody on the same page. You may walk into a situation where different arms of the business are at conflict with one another, and that conflict could potentially lead to a cyber risk.
We're professionalizing the CISO role, so please subscribe to the Professional CISO Podcast.